Hey guys, good morning everyone. Welcome back to the online class. As you know that today we are going to start a new chapter from your new Pathways book. That is Unit 2, Section First. Okay. So here we are going to study about nature's bounty. What is this bounty? It is an abundance or wealth, about or generosity, okay, about nature's, okay. So we are going to learn about nature's wealth or abundance, okay. So first, here's some starter given. Just look at the there are many items that we use that can be replaced with or created from things found in nature. Look at the two lists below and match the items to their counterparts from nature. Means two parts that fit together or complement one other. Okay, you just have to match the things which can fit together. So now you have to compare your answer with your friends. Okay, fine. We'll discuss this in the class after watching the video. Okay, so we'll continue there. But now here, let's continue the chapter. And after seeing the video, I will request you to this match the items. Okay, and you have to tell the answer on the WhatsApp. Okay. Now here we will start the section first, that is the story of amber weeds. Okay, we are going to learn about the story related to the nature, and we are going to study the story of amber beads. What is this amber means? Amber means a hard yellow or brown translucent fossil resin that is used for jewelry. Okay, that is used for making jewelry. Now read about the treasure nature. Okay, see anything which is greatly valuable. Okay, we'll see. Do you know Mother Nature? Do you know about your Mother Nature? Yeah, the nature, what we can say Prakriti. Okay, is see, it is to whom the care of the earth has been given, and all that grows in or upon it, just as the responsibility of your care has been given to your elders. Yeah, the earth responsibility is given on nature. It decided by that if the nature acts well, it gives a great impact on the earth, whether it is bad or good. Okay, so just like our elders, our responsibility is given on our elders, just like that our earth responsibility is given on the nature. Mother Nature, she is taking good care of the earth, and it serves very greatly to the earth and to us also. You may think that Mother Nature, like the famous old woman who lived in the shoe, has so many children that she doesn't know what to do, but you will know better when you become acquainted with her and learn how strong she is. Yeah, just like it is explained here, and has been given an example. So here an example given about a old woman who is taking care of the 50 children alone. Just like that, our Mother Nature is also taking care of us and the earth, right? And in a very soothing and in a perfect way, and we are also not getting affected by that. Okay, so just like our elders, our responsibility is given to our elders, our earth's responsibility is given on our nature, Mother Nature. Okay, Prakriti. And when you acquainted with her and learn how strong she is, after so many things the humans are doing bad to the nature or the earth, after so many things also she is so strong that she didn't get affected and now also she is trying to serve us in a very good way. And how active, how she can really be in 50 places at once, taking care of a sick tree or a baby flower just born, and at the same time building underground palaces, guiding the steps of little travelers, setting out on long journeys, and sweeping, dusting, and a great house, that is the earth. How mother nature is taking care of the earth by sweeping, by brooming, by dusting, by arranging things on the earth, by setting long journeys, by setting some of the buildings, underground palaces, guiding the steps. How mother nature is taking care of her house, that is the earth, like our mother or the parents are taking care of our house where we are living. And all the while, in the midst of her patient and never ending work, she will tell us the most charming and marvelous stories of ages ago when she was young, or of the treasures that lie hidden in the most distant and secret closet of her palace, such stories as you like so well to hear your mother tell when you gather around her in the twilight. And natures also reveal some of the story of about earth, as we can hear the story of our earth from our grandparents or our father mother. They used to explain about the nature, about the earth, what happened 10 years back, 20 years back, what changes came after 10 years, after 20 years, or in upcoming years. So these are the things are being shared about the nature, about our mother nature, who is taking great care of the house, of her house, that is the earth. Okay, so her grandmother, the writer Jane Andrew. Okay, her grandmother is telling a story. She used to tell story to her. So one of the stories she has remembered and she shared about the story of Amber Bates. Now we are going to learn the. We are going to see what are the things, what the story of Amber Beads means, and whatever the things we are going to see in the poem, we will learn that. Okay, a few these stories which she has told to me, I'm about to tell you, beginning with this one. Okay, a story which is shared with my grandmother. I am just going to share this story with you all. Jane Andrew was telling this. I know a little Scottish girl. She lives among the highlands. Her home is hardly more than a hut, her food, broth, and bread. She used to eat food, broth, and bread. As I have told you about, oh, sorry, broth means in which water is boiled and some rice with some salt is added, and we can eat it after getting it cooked. So her food was broth and bread. Her father keeps sheep on the hillsides, and instead of wearing a coat, wraps himself in his plaid. Some of the words, new words is given there in the chapter. You just have to underline that word, and you have to write this word in your notebook, and you can find out the meaning of this word, as I will give this in your assignment too. If you want, you can do it by yourself too. For protection from the cold winds that drive before them great clouds of mist and snow among the mountains. So what she used to wear, what her father do, or means what her father does, and where they were living, whatever the styles of wearing, means their clothes. These all the things are explained in this paragraph. As for Jenny herself, here a word is given that Jenny, in a Scottish fashion, means in Scottish way of style, they are pronunciating the EA in a E. Okay, so her Jenny herself, her yellow hair is bound about with a little snoot. Her face is tanned by exposure to the weather, and her hands are hardened by work, for she helps her mother else to cook and sew, to spin and weave. What Jenny used to do, she used to help her mother, and what is the means personality, or whatever the things is described about her, you just have to take a glance over it, and I will ask this all the things what I am explaining this in the video. Okay, what where she is living, what kind of style they had, what they are used to eat, what her father do, where they live, how was her means lifestyle, how she helped her mother. These all the things I will ask you after this watching video. One treasure little Zenny has, which many a lady would be proud to wear. It is a necklace of amber beads. Here the story starts. The story of amber beads. Uh, every lady feels great, means wearing a necklace which is made up of amber beads. Okay, as I have told you, amber beads are usually yellow or in brown in color, or translucent fossil means the ancient thing which is used for jewelry. Lamu beads, old else calls them. That is the name they went by when she was young. You have perhaps seen amber and know its rich, sunshiny color and its fragrance when rubbed. Nowadays, we are not able to see it, or even I haven't seen this. Okay, so these are the very fossil things. Okay, what happened when we used to rub it? It gives a fragrance from it. And do you know also that rubbing will make amber attract things? Some what as a magnet does. Yeah, after rubbing things, after rubbing this amber, it will attract something. Just it behaves like a magnet to thing. Jenny's beads had all these properties, but some other besides wonderful and lovely, and it is of those particularly that I wish to tell you. She is now, and Jane Andrew is going to share some of the incident, the story about this amber beads, which we are going to learn. Each bead has inside of it some tiny things, encased as if it had grown in the amber. Some of the tiny things was there inside the amber. Okay, and Jenny is never tired of looking at. You must have seen some of the paperweights, or I mean, at your home, old-fashioned paperweights. In that, some of the scenery, some of the things is added. It is not usually means I have a paperweight in which it is of round in shape, and in which something flower things is there. Okay, so I usually wonder that how it came inside it, or whether it grows flower grows inside it, how it happened. So just like that in amber beads, very tiny small thing is there, like insects, some of the flowers, grass, honeybee, or some of the means some fossil plants is there. So she never gets means fed up by seeing that inside the amber. She always enjoys looking at and wondering about them. This is one with a delicate bit of ferny moss shut up as it were in a globe of yellow light. Another, in the tiniest fly, his little wings outspread and raised for flight. Again, she came us, shows us A bee lodged in one bead that looked like solid honey, and a little bright wrinkled beetle in another. So these are the things we are found inside the amber beads. This is one holds two slender pipe needles lying across each other, and here we see a single scale of pine cone, while yet another shows an atom of an acorn cups. Fit for a fairy use, I wish you could see the beads, for I cannot tell the half of their beauty. Yeah, some of the things when we are explaining about the beauty of the things, we fail to express what we meant to it. Okay, we fail to express that. So here also the writer is telling that I am getting fail. That half of the beauty of this amber beads I am not able to describe it, how it looks, whatever the things is inside the amber beads. I am getting fail to describe its beauty. Now, where do you suppose they come from, and how did little Scotch Jenny come into possession of such a treasure? How she got this necklace, how she got this amber beads, and she was so curious about it that she started to search that how these moths, these butterflies, this grass, these bees, how they got inside the amber. All she knows about it is that her grandfather, old Kenneth, who covers now all day in the chimney corner, once years ago, when he was a young lad, a boy, went down upon the seashore after a great storm, hoping to help save something from the wreck of the Goshawk that had gone ashore during the night, and there among the slippery seaweeds his foot had accidentally uncovered a clear shining lump of amber in which all these little creatures were embedded. Now Kenneth loved a pretty high land lash. What happened? One means a great storm came at Goshawk. Okay, his wreck means the ship was being floated in the great storm, and he gone. The grandfather of Jenny had gone to save that means the wreck of that Goshawk. Okay, so he went there and he accidentally uncovered the slippery things which were embedded with these moths, these butterflies. Okay, so this Jenny's grandfather loved it, and he brought that thing to his home, and he had carved means what when she promised to be his bride, he brought her a necklace of amber beads. Means when he Jenny grandfather proposed her grandmother, he just offered these beautiful amber beads which were means embedded with small insects, ferns, petals, and he just carved it. Carved means he had given shape to it, and made a beautiful necklace of this amber and given to her. He had carved himself out of his lump of amber, working carefully to save in each bead the prettiest insect or mouse, and thinking while told hour after hour of the delight with which he should see his bride wear them. That bride was Jenny's grandmother, and when she died last year, she said, "Little Jenny, let little Jenny have my Lamo beads," and kept them as long as she lives. And when means at the time of the her death, she handed this Lamur beads to Jenny, and said her to keep it with her as long as she lives. But what puzzled Zenny was how the amber came to be on the seashore, and most of all, how the bees and Moses came to be inside of it. So we will also find that how these bees, moths, and the butterflies and small insects came inside the um, this amber beads, how it came inside it. Okay, so just like Jenny, we will read, means we have some curiosity that how it came. So for completing our curiosity or question, I'll complete this story tomorrow and we'll see again what happened. But before ending this, I would say that whatever the question I have asked in the chapter, beginning of the chapter, that you have to match the items. Um, Here it is given, right? Yeah, that you have to match the items with the column B and you have to tell the answer for it. Okay, and you have to means answer this of the question, that how Jenny was, her lifestyle was, how she helped her mother and where they were living, what her father doing. Okay, how the grandfather from where found the this amber, you know, the how, why he carved it, for whom he had carved, and what her grandmother given her Jenny. And these all the things I will ask it. Okay, so all the best to all, and tomorrow we are going to end this chapter with the summary of the chapter, and day after tomorrow we are going to complete the exercise of the chapter. So all the best to all.